So I'm back again on this journey of learning how to use resin. So before you are all of the tools that I'm going to use, I believe, during this process. The most important, starting with the resin compounds A and B. These are used 1-to-1 in equal amounts. I don't think I'm going to need a lot of it, so I'm probably going to keep it to around, it looks like these are in grams. Oh, milliliters. Sorry, milliliters. So I think I'm going to use maybe 30 milliliters of each. I've got 4 cups because you start out by measuring them separately, at least in the directions that I've received. You measure them out separately. And so I'll use 1 cup for A, 1 cup for B. Then I will transfer them into the 3rd cup and start mixing. And then to just 100% make sure that the mixture is mixed all the way, I'll transfer it again into cup 4 and continue mixing. Now I kind of see this mixing as when you make egg whites and mix them up to put a lot of bubbles in them to make meringue, you have to be really careful with how you stir in your flour. Well, this is just the opposite. I want to be really careful with how I'm stirring the two together because I don't want to put bubbles in it. So you need to kind of stir slowly. I'm going to attempt to do that. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully I don't create many bubbles. I also have a pair of gloves here. It's really important to wear gloves the whole time. You don't want to get this resin on your hands. It will stick to everything, so wear gloves the whole time. I'll have a respirator on as well, and you can probably hear it in the background, but I already have my exhaust fan going, blowing out the window, so that any fumes that are created by this will go straight out the window. Along with that, I have my molds. I'm also going to attempt to mold right inside this housing with this little moon shape. I have a stir stick. I'll be filling the molds using this little dropper, and the point on this device will be used to pop holes, and I'll also use a blowtorch to lightly hit the holes, lightly hit the top of the resin to get rid of any other air bubbles that are there that I might not be able to see. So here we go. On with the gloves. These gloves came with the kit. I didn't break out my own gloves just because, well, I figure they sent me gloves, I might as well use them. So there we are. I know, super exciting watching somebody put gloves on. All right. Now, let's open up the A bottle. I'm going to use my little poker because it's got a aluminum safety lid that I have to take off. All right. I'll just put that aside. And now I will measure out my 30 milliliters. Now I should have probably took the time to measure in my molds exactly how much liquid I was going to need, but I'm a little impatient. So instead of doing that, I am just going to guess that 30 milliliters of each will do what I want. That's A. Let's go on to B. Just think, if I make mistakes during this video, you'll learn how to not make those mistakes. I'm opening the top of B. So bottle A is the actual resin. Bottle B is the hardener. Aha. Bottle B is now open. Now we will measure out 30 milliliters of that. There we go. Both containers are exactly even. Now on to container number 3. I think that in the directions they tell you to use a third container because a little bit of each is going to be left over in the previous container, and you want to try to have the exact same amount of both. So I'm going to pour these in at the same time because I feel like they will start mixing together more evenly. It's fascinating. It's like watching paint dry. The resin from bottle A definitely seems thicker. It is pouring out slower than the hardener from bottle B. All right, there we are. Now I'm going to mix. The cool thing about mixing this, and you probably can't see it, is that there are actually swirls in there. So you can see the hardener mixing in with the resin. It does get quite milky, but as I've seen with many of the videos that I've watched, it does dry clear. I guess this part of the video I might end up speeding up because I can see this taking a little while. I'm actually really excited to be doing this. In between the last video and this video, what you didn't see was me creating my little pieces of artwork. They're rather simple because this is a test run, so I didn't want to spend too much time on them at this point. I just really wanted to get to the point where I could pour some resin. Okay, now that it seems like it's more mixed up, it's not as cloudy as it was. I had also read that it would get warm, but I'm not feeling it being too warm at this point. It's roughly 70 degrees in my house and in this room right now. I do see bubbles, which is kind of a bummer. So maybe I've been a little overzealous with my stirring. If you don't get this stirred perfect, you could end up with soft spots from what I've seen in other videos. Thanks to everybody out there who came before me and did resin videos. I'm not seeing the swirls anymore like I did before. I'm feeling like I have got a good mix on this. I could be completely wrong, but that's why you run tests on things, right? That's why you try. Not supposed to be able to do it right the first time. You're supposed to make mistakes and learn from them. Oh yeah, I really do feel like this is mixed really good. Some of those bubbles that I saw, I've actually been able to bring to the surface and they've kind of popped, which was nice. All right, I feel good about that. Now that I cleaned off my stick, I should probably stir that in too. All right, there we go. I'm going to put the stick aside. I can lay that stick right down because I have this nice piece of parchment paper covering everything. I did that specifically so that I didn't get it all over my desk, because that's where I work. And I like my desk a lot. And so I didn't want to get it on my desk.